All right, so for this one, we're going to be going over 2A, 6A, and 9A. When we do these, this is going to be like 3 different topics. It's going to be linear, quadratic, and exponential, but they all cover the same thing. Domain, which is going to be your x values, which we're always going to write box, box, x, box, box, left to right. This is going to help you. We're going to fill it out as we go. Your range, which is going to be y, values, box, box, y, box, box, low to high, okay? Then discrete graphs are going to be where it is like just points on the graph, not connected. Then continuous graphs are going to be the ones that are connected, the ones that don't have points everywhere, okay? So for our first one, we have the symbol, which is a solid point, and we get the symbol with the line underneath. Then we have open, which gets us no line. So here, when we're talking about domain, we're talking about the x-axis. And this is like 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. If we're going to the left, we have the less than symbol. Okay, less than. X less than a number. If we're going to the right, the numbers are getting bigger. So we have x bigger than equal to a number. And we're using this symbol because it's a solid point. Okay. Now, when we take a look at these right here, if our graph is pointing up, it's y greater than or equal to a number. If our graph is pointing down with an open point, y less than a number. If we're pointing down, it's less than. If we're pointing up, more. Okay, we're getting bigger. So let's look at our first example. It says, a part of a linear function is shown on the grid. What is the range of the part of the linear function shown? The range of the function is, we have blank, blank, y, blank, blank. We have to fill it in. My important word here is, range. Range. And I know range is lowest to highest. If I look at my function that they gave me, this line right here, and I only look at the y numbers, not the x, If my lowest number right here, low, is -4, that should go in my first box, -4. And this is an open point. So if it's open, we get this symbol, boom, boom. This is closed. So now if I look for my highest number, right here, the highest point, and that's going to be 2. Highest goes where highest is at, 2. And this is closed point. So we get the closed symbol. This would be your answer. We are now done with this question. Okay, that's your answer. So going to the next one. It says, which statement about the function n of x, parentheses, equals 5x squared minus 20x plus 12 is true? So let's go ahead and read our answer choices because we don't have a picture. So it says the domain x is greater than or equal to 2. Maybe, I don't know. My range in x. So I don't know what in x is, but, well, I do, but sometimes y'all get confused. In x is like saying the same thing as y. So we're going to change all of these to y so we don't get confused. In x is y. Okay. So I don't know, maybe that's true. And then the next one is about domain again. And the next one is about range. So when we do this, we have to know that we're looking for domain and we are looking at range. Okay, that's going to be the thing that helps us. The fact that we don't have a picture means we are going to take this and we are going to put it in Desmos to make a picture. That is what's going to help me. I'm going to draw a picture on my paper so then we can use it to help us. So let me go to Desmos and I'm going to type in y equals 5x squared minus 20x plus 12. Now, what I want is the vertex, okay? So when I press this function, we get a ton of different gray points, okay? So I come here and I tap here, and then we get this point, this point, this point, and this point. One of those is our vertex. Just a refresher, vertex is our lowest or highest point. So here, my vertex would be 2, -8. So right here, 2, -8. And we're going to draw our graph going up. And the whole reason I'm putting arrows is because if I zoom out, this function never stops going. The red never stops. We're at some huge numbers now. I mean, past the point that the computer even comprehends. But that is what I need. This little point right here with my lowest point. So now I'm talking about range. I just want to talk about my y values. It's gonna, actually, let's do domain first. If we have domain, we have box, x, box. I used the wrong color. Domain, box, x, box. Now we have an arrow going left, so that means infinity, and an arrow going right, which means infinity. That means when you have two infinities, you have all real numbers. Now, if I look at my answer choices, I have domain. This does not say all real numbers, so can't be my answer. I have domain. This does not say all real numbers, so cannot be my answer. Now, let's look at range. Range is box, y, box. Low to high. My low y is going to be -8. This is -8. This is why I needed my vertex. You have x and you have y. -8 right here. Now, if I look at my arrows, it's pointing up, meaning infinity right here. This side goes away. This is a solid point, so that would be my answer. But here's what I need to do. I need to put the y in the front, and this is eating my y, so it's going to continue to eat my y, -8. So my answer, the only one that matches, would be B. D would not be good. If this was a little bit too confusing for you, you can always look right here. I like using this a little bit more. If the graph is going up, it's always going to be y greater than or equal to a number. If it's y, it's your y value. Okay, let's try the last one. It says the graph of an exponential function is shown on the grid. Based on the graph, which statements about the function is true? So I am again going to look at my answers, see what I need to look for. It says range, domain. So again, in this situation, I'm looking for domain and I'm looking for range. So if I find domain first, we're going to look at all the domain answers. Boom, boom. All real numbers greater than -4, all real numbers less than -4, and then range, all real numbers less than 0, all real numbers greater than 0. If I'm looking at just my domain, we have an arrow going left and an arrow going right, which means all real numbers. It would be the same process that we just did. So we would do box, x, box. You got arrow going left, infinity, arrow going right, infinity, all real numbers. Now, if we look at my answers, I see domain is definitely not all real numbers. It has extra stuff, extra numbers. That's not good. Now, let's look at range. You have box, y, box. Now, in this situation, my arrow is pointing up. If I have my asymptote here at y equals 0, I cannot touch y. That means 0 is my lowest number. And that means I'm using the symbol right here, and I have infinity here. This goes away. In this situation, you have y getting bigger, getting greater. So we would look for the word greater. Less would be pointing down, but in this situation, we have all these numbers up here that we need to deal with. And then all the numbers after 0 don't matter. All this doesn't matter because we can't pass the asymptote. So C would be my answer. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Have a great day. Goodbye.